right, good morning. It's 7:03 on this Monday, December 14th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome a rainy Monday. We're glad to have you with us. And of course, glad to be on the air for Absolute Kubota. Don Hamlet's here. He promised us last week he'd be here through the month of December. Good morning. And how are you? Good. A little bit of liquid sunshine today.
Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, but we need some rain from time to time.
Yes, we do.
And if this is as bad as it's going to get, this is nothing.
Nothing at all. No big deal at all here.
Absolute Kubota recently moved to 1506 West Main, having been at 1325 West Main with Absolute Rental all these years. But Don, of course, is with us here. Don Hamlet in sales. He's one that made the move, and we continue to talk about it because there are probably a few people who haven't heard about it or just hadn't realized what we're talking about or whatever.
We're still having people come in and say, hey, I didn't know we had a Kubota dealer here in Lebanon, till we got up on the main, we're just right up against the road there. So we're excited that people are still finding us, I guess.
That's kind of hard to believe.
It is.
But anyway, you have expanded and you've got your equipment out there on display near West Main, Highway 70 there. And really, I think things are looking up for you.
I think everything's looking great right there. We're enjoying being there so far.
Well, how about those RTVs we've been talking about? You've been selling some of those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are still moving. People are still coming in, calling, checking us out. Just want everybody to know if you're in a position where maybe COVID really has you, in a place where you don't feel like you want to get out in public, you call 615-449-6171. You tell them, say, I need to speak with Don, and I'll get geared up, and I'll stay clean, and I'll put my mask on, and we'll disinfect the unit, and we'll bring it out to you if you need to. Just whatever we need to do to make to get somebody in a Kubota,
But boy, if you get in one of those, then if you're by yourself out on your 100 acres or 10 acres or whatever you got backyard,
you're safe
and have a wonderful time.
I probably wouldn't even bring it back. I'd probably bring it out to you, and you'd probably hand me a check, and I'd just turn around and go back to the shop empty-handed. It would be great.
You do every once in a while take one on display like that?
Sure. Yeah. I went out and delivered one myself the other day. We don't normally do that. We normally have the guys out in the shop. I had a gentleman from Kentucky buy someone down here in Lebanon as a gift of appreciation. And he didn't want that person to know who it was, so I loaded it up myself and drove out to their farm and delivered it, and shock and all and fun for me. They got a new Kubota RTV, and it was really a fun afternoon for me.
That would have had to have been for you, and other than the pleasure of that and the sale, maybe you didn't get anything out of it, but
sure,
that's something different. And the person had to have been surprised. They didn't know it was coming.
Absolutely did not. And just the day before, they said that their front their front wheel bearing went out just the day before. So they were getting ready to have to go out and look at getting one just as I showed up. So it made everybody happy. No, there's just stuff like that. Normal mundane sales and people coming in and out. That's all fun, but that was really fun on Friday to get to do that. So.
Well, you can do so much with one of these. Of course, you have tractors and all the implements and the hay equipment and all the stuff we talk about most of the time. But right now, in the dead of winter, actually winter arrives next week, I believe, but it's winter to us, and there's no yard to mow and all this kind of stuff. But an RTV, you can get out, you can have a lot of fun, you can check on things, you can be business or pleasure.
Either one. Some of them have electronic over hydraulic dump beds on them. Some of them have factory cabs, so they have heat and air conditioning. We always say the gentleman can get out or lady can get out and get in her heated unit, check her fences, count cows, say how many calves have dropped overnight, and not ever be out and suffering or anything. They're nice.
Boy, it sure makes farming different from what it was 50 years ago.
Why, yeah. We have a lot of people that are just, all right, now, I can afford it now. I'm ready to trade in this open station and get a cab tractor, stuff like that. So, like right now we have cab tractors, we have trailers, we still have lawnmowers. We're still selling a few of those. Exmark, we're still here in town. They're at 1325 West Main. All the oranges we're saying of Kubota and Lamb Pride and everything, we're all at 1506 West Main. Most everything has some amount of terms of 0 down, 0% interest. There's no reason, even if you can afford it, there's no reason for you to reach into your checking account and write a check for any amount of money when you get 0% interest. People are asking all the time, well, what's the fee for that? Well, there's nothing. Kubota just wants your business, and they want you to have a piece of equipment today with nothing down. So.
Well, if we even did today's interest rates, it still wouldn't be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad on a house. I think some of the.
I can understand why they can go zero interest anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a good gimmick. It's a good. It's
good.
good.
Some of the tractors right now you can do up to 84 months.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody else is going to let you have money for 0 down, 0% interest for 84 months.
Well, a couple of other things we'll mention, of course. You have the bigger area. You've got more on display. You also offer service after the sale.
Nice big service bays right now. Everything. Those guys back there, they're enjoying their area as much as I'm enjoying my new area. We're all kind of like we've got a new house or something. And the good part for all of the employees, we didn't have to pay a thing for it. We just come in and got this beautiful new area to sit down in and welcome our customers. And, our parts department, they're still in full swing. So everything's working great down there.
Matt Bryson happy?
I hope so. Yes, sir. I hope he is.
Well, I do too.
He's not fussing at me, so that's good.
Okay, your hours are 7 to 5,
Monday through Friday,
7
and then
to 4
still 7 to 4 on Saturday. That may change after the first of the year, just for Saturdays, but we'll make that announcement whenever that's more firm.
All right. And again, the phone number 615-449-6171. Ask for Don.
That's right. Ask for me.
See you next Monday.
See you guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you so much. Don Hamlet, he's in sales at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. We're 10 and a half after the hour, and here on a Monday morning, I want to welcome Ken Beck, who is my guest. Ken and I I think we've got a lot to talk about this morning, although I don't know exactly what, but good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm still half asleep, by the way.
I asked you, and I'd heard we have a mutual friend in Bobby James, and he had told me about your house and the tornado, and we talked about that a time or two, and that's the first thing I asked you this morning, but you have finally got back into your home, I believe.
We are. We've been back probably about 5 weeks, I think. We were displaced for about 7 or 8 months. I can't remember now, but I guess, about almost 7 months.
Well, we could talk just a minute or two about that. Of course, the tornado hit there, March the 3rd, I believe was the date, and it must have done extensive damage to your property.
It did. It was the scariest thing I've ever been through in my life. I heard it coming maybe 15 seconds before it hit, and my wife and I rolled over on the other side of the bed, and it came through the windows on the other side, and blew out one of the walls, the brick wall that our bed was resting against. It took off our we had one room upstairs. It took the roof off and did a lot of damage. And then it started raining. We went downstairs to another bedroom up front that wasn't damaged. And about an hour and a half later, I heard a huge noise, and our living room and kitchen ceilings had dropped in because of the rain above, and it just made a mess of everything. And it was so bad we had to demolish the whole house, but we weren't hurt, so everything's good. Just
the two of you there. Yeah. Well, how's this has had to change your life a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Where you live and how you adapt and all of that, of course. But any other way, really?
Honestly, that morning as we were outside looking back at it, I had the feeling I had was joy because we were alive and we weren't hurt. Nobody in our subdivision at Stonebridge, I didn't hear of anybody who was hurt, and there were I heard at least 5 or other close call stories where people easily could have been killed and got a phone call, and 30 seconds later were in their basement, and then their bedroom got blown off. So, this part of Lebanon was, someone was watching over us.
Right.
Because, there were deaths in Mount Juliet and 19 people in Cookville. It just could have been so much worse.
Yeah. So just thankful your house can be replaced.
Sure.
Your lives can't you can't be replaced for your wife. She can't be replaced for you. Not. I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, we're glad things are better, but you've been writing all this time, I think, like you always do.
Yeah, I love writing. I write almost every day. I love, I love several things. I enjoy meeting people that have great stories to tell, and everybody has a story, but there are people. I try to find stories of ordinary people who have an extraordinary story to tell. And I love just getting to meet them and hear their stories, number one. And number two, I'm grateful that I can share their story because, most people don't have access and most people aren't going to write a story about their life or some of the things they've done. And so, I'm glad that I can help them do that. And then I also do enjoy history, especially local history. So I try to find 3 or 4 things in Lebanon or Wilson County's history that has been laying in the archives or in some books or old newspapers 100 years ago that people have totally forgotten about that are just incredibly fascinating, and I hope other people think that way too.
Well, you do write for the Wilson Post, and I know, do you nearly every week, I think, you have a column there.
Just about every week. I am actually, next year I'm planning on cutting back about in half. I'm getting older, and I've got young grandkids that I want to play with, and I want to. I want to start a book I started. I hope to finish a book I started over 15 years ago. It's writing a book is a different thing than writing a feature story, which you can do in 5 to 10, 12 hours. But so I'm hoping that happens. But you never know.
Ken Beck is here. It's time for us to take a break. You're listening to Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Caring for a loved one is as natural as the weather. But just like the weather, one moment it's sunny, and the next you find yourself in the middle of a storm. So when it came time to take care of my dad, I knew I needed help. A reprieve from the storm, so to speak. That's when I found the Pavilion Senior Living. They have expertise and experience to weather the storms in your loved one's life. And now I can rest easy. Thank you, Pavilion Senior Living. You should visit thepavilionseniorliving.com to find out more.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas is back for their 11th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. For just $25 per vehicle, you will experience the dazzling sights and sounds of over 2 million lights synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes without ever leaving the safety and comfort of your own vehicle. The Dancing Lights of Christmas, 5 p.m. nightly, November 13th through January 3rd. Don't forget to make plans for Primal Combat December 19th and MMA Championship Fight. For tickets and more information, visit Farm Bureau Exposition Center on Facebook. Attend both events and get discount tickets.
Many thanks for joining us here on this Monday morning. Ken Beck is with us. I've remember you telling me more than once when you've been here how that I think when you were growing up, you lived, was it Arkansas? Or some?
Yeah, well, my dad was in the Air Force, so we moved all around. I'm a Tennessee native, but I only lived here till about the age of 1.5. But I did have grandparents in Cannon County that we came and saw regularly in Christmas and Christmas breaks. I knew I wanted to come back to Tennessee when I got out of school. So I grew up mainly Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas.
But I won't ever let you forget you're the first football coach at Friendship Christian.
That's true.
Did you kind of get, they looked around and said, he's hit. That was, surely you'd played little sports.
I did. I played everything you could play in high school. I wasn't great at anything, but I was fair at everything. And I played football and ran track in college. The way I came to Lebanon, Bill Bryson, who's father of Matt Bryson, by the way, is married to my aunt Joan, and he was coaching at Castle Heights. This was 1974, just as I was getting out of college, and he had Ken, they're looking for a junior school coach here at Castle Heights. So I came and interviewed at Castle Heights in the morning, and he said, Friendship's trying to get a football program going next year. You need to go talk to Colonel Leonard Bradley. Interviewed him in the afternoon. So I had 2 job offers, and I took the Friendship job.
But you weren't really cut out to be a football coach, were you?
I don't really know that I'll ever know the answer. We had such a small school. We had 90 students that first year. That was the second year of the school.
Okay.
And we had 20 boys came out on the team, which is almost half the boys in the school. And we had 5 or 6 games that year, and by the last game we had 13 players. So we were just young and lucky not to get hurt. So I've often asked myself, would I have been a good football coach? I'm not sure I know, but I enjoy the students. It was a hard decision for me to leave teaching. I was there 3 years and had a journalism degree and still had that dream of wanting to be a writer. And I decided, I can come back to teaching. If I want to be a writer, I need to find a job somewhere that will help me learn to write.
Was that when you went to the Tennessee?
And that's when I walked in the door and got a job at the Tennessean, which is, it's the providence of God is what I think. But and it was the perfect place for me because they gave me time to learn how to write. I did a lot of editing, but they also let me write some. And then as I was there longer, I got to write more and more. But yeah.
And that Sunday magazine.
The Sunday Showcase.
You were the editor. You put that thing together for years, didn't you?
For about 25 years. Yeah, I read every story, wrote every headline, and picked all the photographs. And I tell people it's kind of like grading essay tests, but it was enjoyable. It was mostly entertainment. So and they'd had a trivia column in the back of that for years called Ask Showcase, and the person who'd been doing that left right after I started. And I'd always enjoyed television and movies, so I took over that chore, and eventually they changed it to Ask Ken Beck.
And you were but because of that, you probably had to ask a lot of questions. You talked to people all over the country, maybe even all over the world, and getting answers and the contacts that you made. A lot of them, you could call them up again if you want to write about them or something like that. That helped, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. I one of the things I learned was how to find people. Now, this was before the internet. And so people would ask me questions about all kinds of movie stars, a lot of them deceased. So say Judy Garland. Well, I could find the author who wrote the book about Judy Garland's life, or John Wayne, you name it. So I've still got a great list of contacts of people who are specialists in just different areas that are going to know the answer that I was trying to find to share with the readers.
What's a day like you like? I'm sure, like most of us, no 2 days are exactly the same. But I mean, my day is pretty much the same, in that I get here about 3 minutes to 7 each morning and talk to somebody for an hour. What do you do every day?
I'm not sure people want to know that. It's pretty boring, but I do check my email 3 or 4 times a day. I get lots at the Tennessean. Believe it or not, if I took a week off and came back, I would have usually over 1,200 emails. Now, most of those are junk, but you never know which one's going to be, hey, I've got a story idea for you, Ken. So, you got to check them all. So, I still get quite a bit of emails. So, but, I'm usually on the computer for an hour or two every morning. I'll take a break and come into Lebanon, go to Uncle Pete's truck stop, might have a cup of coffee there. There's a gang of guys there. They call it the Liar's Table.
Yeah.
Those guys know everything. They know all the news before it's in the newspaper, and they know interesting characters. I get great story ideas from just people around town, and people do call me and email me and say, hey, here's a story, here's something interesting you might want to write about. And then in the afternoon, I try to walk 2 or 3 miles a day. I try to, if my grandson's home, try to play with him some. We take care of him a few hours a day, and my wife does, I should say. But I'm probably on the computer at least 4 hours a day, working on a story or doing research on something. Yeah.
But you like to write.
Oh, I do. I love it.
And these feature stories. In fact, I had a stack of papers I was looking at yesterday because I'm thinking about, even though I said I wasn't, I think I'm going to do maybe the last day that we're on here in 2020, some of the stories for the year, and especially we've had a lot of prominent people who have passed away this year. So I'm going to maybe take the last 30 minutes to do that. But I've noticed you even did a story on McCall. What's his name? Jack, Jack McCall. That's one of the first stories you did in 2020, I think.
I don't remember that. It's funny. A lot of times I get 2 or 3 stories ahead, and I don't remember what I wrote last week, and I don't remember I've turned it in. I don't remember what's running next week.
Well, Jack has been my guest here, and he's of course he's a professional speaker, really, but he's written some books too about growing up in Middle Tennessee and Smith County and all of that. And he's a very interesting person. I really like the interview you did with him.
Yeah, I like him. he's like, he and I have a lot of things in common. We're both very sentimental, but he grew up in the country. I grew up in the suburbs.
Well, what you said you may write a book. Is this book you're going to write? Is it about your life?
No, it would be a fiction novel set in the 1960s, and I don't really want to talk about it because it may never get done. but if I get it done, you never know if you can even find a publisher. But if I get it done, I'll probably, if I can't find a publisher, I'll probably print 100 copies myself and just give them to my family and friends.
I want to ask you about this thing at Uncle Pete's, the Liar's Table. Now, you're you surely are old enough to remember the country store.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be a country store in every community, and I think the Liar's Table there might sort of be like it used to be in the wintertime at one of these country stores where you had the pot-bellied stove, and people are either there chewing the fat, solving the world's problems, or maybe playing cards or something.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's really it's just a place where people congregate from all different sides of life. There are poor men there. There's wealthy men there. There's farmers. There's businessmen. And, they all come with it. Every morning, everyone's heard something that nobody else has heard. So, again, you pick up a lot of community news that way. And, again, as a storyteller, I probably get at least 5 or 6 stories a year from a place like this.
You did a story on the mayor of Pooltight.
Mr. J.B. Jones.
Yeah, J.B. Jones, right. And that probably somebody put you on that.
Well, he was one of the regulars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was what a wonderful character he was.
Well, he was. I understand one of the best welders that was around.
Yes, that's right.
He's one that we lost this year. Well, we got about 4 minutes left here. You have written some other books. In fact, I've got 2 or 3 of them. One is just a little small book about interesting facts about Wilson County. It takes in a lot of history.
Yeah, that's Wonders of Wilson County. I did that in 2017 with the help of Wilson Bank and Trust. And we gave a copy to every 4th and 5th grader in the county because I had all these stories and people said, "Why don't you put these in a book?" And I'm like, well, nobody's going to read that book. But I thought, what if I put 400 or 500 facts together? And, our children, even my children who are around 40, our children don't read and don't enjoy history as much as a lot of us. And I thought, if they can just read some of these little nuggets of interesting history, maybe that will get them intrigued to go to the library and read some of these history books. I was here earlier this year, of course, with you with an Aunt Bee's Mayberry cookbook, which is now, it's 29 years old, but our publisher just had it redone as a hardcover book. And it's a great Christmas present, by the way. It's a hardcover. It was a soft cover when it was originally published, but lots of pictures from the Andy Griffith Show and recipes from most of the cast members, as well as people who are members of the fan club.
It amazes me because there's a TV station in Nashville every night, 10 to 11, they have 2 episodes of Andy Griffith Show. And they go back to the very beginning, and some of the black and white wasn't all that good back then, till they, of course, went to color. But honestly, I like the black and white ones better. And I'll be honest, that's the last thing I do before I go to bed every night. I usually watch the news and flip over during the commercials and see which one's on. I've seen most of them, but I like to see them again, see what's on the first one. But unless it's just a really good one, I want to see the news and weather. At 10:30 to 11, I watch that one. And there's something about that. I don't know what, but it just, I love it.
Dozens of people tell me that's what they watch before they go to bed every night. That's a nice way to go.
Well, one thing about it, there was no ugly language, no improper language or anything like that back then. It was Mayberry, USA, is something most of us, I guess, can identify with, and maybe the older we are, the more we identify with it.
Yeah, it was typical small-town America. And actually, it was 60th anniversary this past October. But yeah, it had some of the best comedy writers in Los Angeles. Had a great cast, so the stories were great, and the comedy writing was great. But it always seemed to have a moral message, which holds up. forever. And it was about a father raising his son by himself. So there was that parent-son relationship, but it was all about friends in a town that truly cared about one another. Between the laughs, they saw, Andy's the father figure who helps solve the problems.
Don Knotts is Barney Fife. a great role, even if he did bumble around and mess things up an awful lot. But I really like it. Did you meet any of those people or have dialogue with?
I met almost all of them except Francis Vavia, who played Aunt Bee, and Howard McNair, who played Floyd the Barber. My writing partner, Jim Clark, and I, who've written close to 10 books about the Andy Griffith Show, when they made Return to Mayberry, 1986, we got invited to the set in California, spent 3 days with the whole cast watching them film that. And I tell people that was like a Twilight Zone episode. Here I am walking around, and they'd created a small town that looked like Mayberry. They had the squad car. Andy and Barney were wearing their uniforms. It was one of the greatest things in my life.
Oh, well, I wish we had more time to talk about that. But were they pretty much like you expected them to be in real life?
They were pretty busy most of the time. But some of them, Andy was producing it. He was extremely busy. Yeah. We only got to visit with him for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. But the rest of them were very cordial. Our book had just come out on the show that we'd written about the show, and we sent them all copies about 5 minutes earlier. So yeah, they were very kind to us.
Is that book still available?
You know what? It may be out of print now. It's called the Andy Griffith Show book, but we just actually getting the rights back to it. So we're going to be looking for another publisher. So we're hoping maybe in a year it'll be out again as another new book.
I should have invited you to stay the whole hour. Our time's up. Ken, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Well, we'll do it again as you're available, and we need somebody. How's that?
Okay.
All right. Ken Beck with us this morning, part 1 of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
Get excited for Christmas as you take a stroll through Fiddler's Grove Historic Village and see the buildings come to life with animated Christmas decorations. Bring your friends and family to enjoy this safe outdoor adventure. CDC guidelines are being followed. Masks encouraged. Hand sanitizing available throughout the walk. Tours available Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now through December 19th. More details at fiddlersgrovetennessee.com. For the love of Tennessee, visit Wilson County and travel safe.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medore Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
The 2020 Titans have all grown up together. They've had a taste of success in the playoffs, and they're back with Derrick Henry.
Henry 20, Henry 10.
Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Tannehill keeping around right in, driving, he's in.
A stout defense.
Titan ball.
And a head coach in Mike Vrabel who's ready to lead them.
Brought to you by Stephen Lowe Plumbing and the Jewelers.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
Today's forecast calls for a mix of sun and clouds, with highs only topping out in the upper 40s. For your Tuesday, skies will be partly cloudy, with temperatures climbing to near 50 degrees. On Wednesday, there is a slight chance of rain, otherwise skies will be partly cloudy. Sunshine returns by Thursday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Monday morning. We're welcoming our guests for part 2, but before that, we got to do what we always do on a Monday morning, and that's talk about Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet. Billy Mullinax is here. Billy, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And I think you're doing fine.
I'm doing great.
You're looking well. You're sounding good this morning.
Well, thank you.
Right here in the middle of December, we're ready to talk about no haggle pricing at Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet. Everybody pays the same great low price, and that's what sets you apart and makes you different, really.
That's what makes us different, Coleman.
Yeah. Well, how's things here about the middle of December?
December is always really normally one of the best months of the year, and it's certainly shaping up to be that this year. So we're having a great month.
Well, we're glad to hear that. You let everybody know, of course, you're open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's your sales
That's
department.
right.
I don't think you're there all those hours, but most of them.
Just most of them, Coleman. Most of them.
Your service department, which we don't talk as much about, they don't have such long hours, but they are very diligent to work their regular hours and take care of people, offering service after the sale.
Yes, they are. They actually get there an hour earlier. They get there at 7 in the morning, and they're we have advisors there till 6 o'clock at night. So actually, they're there about the same number of hours, just different hours.
Right. Well, we want everybody to know that you can see the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars at RockyWilliams.com.
Might see your neighbor there too, Coleman.
Great place to start. It's where most people do start. If you're looking for a car, you go to the website. And the good thing about yours is your entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars are right there with the no haggle price.
That's exactly right, Coleman. And it's the price that everybody gets. So many dealerships this day and time are using and including in their online price rebates that you probably do not qualify for. They're doing that in order to advertise a lower price on their website to get you there. And that's, in our mind, that's very deceptive, Coleman. We don't do that. We only include the rebates that everybody in the Southeast Business Center gets.
And as you've said many times, if you actually qualify for more, then you want them to have it, but it's just not included in that no haggle price.
That's exactly right. If they qualify for additional rebates, we certainly want to be able to give those to the customer because there's nothing we can do with them if we don't give them to the customer. So we certainly want to do that.
Well, we laugh about it. Sometimes you do have to make a believer out of a few people who are relatively new customers, maybe come for the first time and even test you out. We'll see if you can't get $100 lower than what your no haggle price is. And so far, the answer has always been no.
Well, Coleman, it's always going to be no. We start and finish with a great price. It's a price that most dealerships really don't want to sell you the vehicle for. They will. But then, everybody gets that great low price, Coleman. Regardless if I buy a vehicle, I'm going to pay exactly to the penny what everybody else is going to pay. And we do have people that occasionally will. We had a customer wanted to haggle on Saturday. Now, it's amazing, Coleman. They're there because they've already done their research and their homework, and they know it's a great price. I'm sure that customer's been expecting a phone call over the weekend saying, "Hey, if you'll just come and get this, we'll drop the price." They'll probably show back up and buy the vehicle, but they will not receive a phone call from us saying, "If you'll come buy this, we'll reduce the price."
And
we
when
don't
they
do that.
When they do come back, they're going to pay the price they found when they came the first time.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And, when I started in this business, Billy Farrell, who you know very well, he's retired now, but Billy said, what I tell him, he says, well, we can start negotiating out here on the lot, and when we get in the showroom, we'll be at the price that it is posted for. And that's and that's exactly right. We don't deviate from that price, Coleman, because if you deviate from it, you have no integrity. And, at the end of the day, people just want to know that nobody else couldn't buy that vehicle for any less than what they did. And when Rocky Williams' children pay to the penny what everybody else pays, that's as honest and as fair as you can ever be.
Well, you do have to make some believers out of people from time to time. They're going to try you, but that's okay.
Well, sure. Absolutely, it's okay.
That's okay. But go to RockyWilliams.com, see the entire inventory right there, and just remember at Rocky Williams, they price their cars and not their customers. I love that line.
Well, we say that all the time, Coleman, and that's exactly right. Regardless of who it is, we price our vehicles, not the person coming in to buy it.
Well, I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk about it again next Monday when you come back. And as always, thanks for my second cup of coffee.
You're very welcome.
I'm ready to start on it now. All right, you too. Billy Mullinax, he's general manager for Rocky Williams Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet. They're located at 600 Pleasant Grove Road on the north side of the interstate. It's easier to get there that way. We are 21 and a half before the hour, and I have 4 people, my guests this morning, for part 2 of Coleman and Company. And we want to welcome them. First of all, I'm going to introduce John McDearman. John, good morning to you.
Morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's
Happy
good.
Monday, right?
Yeah, right. We've got 3 other people here that you know better than I do, and I'm going to let you introduce them if you would like to, and then we'll see what all we're going to get to this morning.
Sure. Just want to. This is a kind of sorts of a wrap to the first really a nice push that was started back in the summer to try to really help small businesses. The initiative is 10 Community, and it was 9 banks that joined together. And people say, why did you do that, right? Why would you do that? And for all of us, it was about really making a couple of phone calls and say our community needs, in a time that seems pretty divisive, we need to unify to help our small businesses, knowing what they've come out of. And we had a couple things we were trying to accomplish. One, just promotion, just education on, to our people in our community, which is actually expanded outside of the community now to encourage tourism as well, pushing people our way. But to say, hey, it is important, and it's something we've taken for granted in the past that, our small business owners are true entrepreneurs, and they had a spirit for wanting to do something that they had a passion for. And so we got to help them sustain that. So 9 banks jumped in together. Mm-hmm. We put some resources, said, hey, we're going to try to make a difference through education, through support, and through hopefully making a difference to their bottom line at some point. We rolled that into our small business bucks, or 10 community bucks, a program that Wilson Bank had in the past. And we decided to kind of, again, let that go to the side and join all the banks together, to knowing that together we can make a greater impact than any one of us could. And so here we are. So I've got some business owners that have actually benefited and really embraced the program that we're doing. And I know their businesses have benefited, but also I think they would tell you we wouldn't all even be here together if it wasn't for something like this that we've done. And so that's a win within itself, that we've met new people and just make great connections in our community. So Julie Reswald is our first one. She's at the Basement Marketplace in Mount Juliet, kind of on that old Hickory line. And so she had, I think they're $5 bucks is what it is, so some $58 turned in. We'll let her tell about kind of her story. Andy White was Prospect, and so you may know Andy. Andy, we include the nonprofits, which we thought was a great way to continue to kind of to give back on that
Let's
side.
say I've heard of him. I'm meeting him for the first time this morning.
Okay, yeah, there you go. And then Kathy Tact, who's a faith store on the square in Lebanon. And so we were talking earlier about how excited we are, the vibrance of the square. And so glad to have these representatives, and we'll let them tell their story. But they're awesome business owners and entrepreneurs, and you'll hear more from them.
Well, Julie, you were introduced first. You want to tell your story first? How has this gone? The Basement Marketplace in Mount Juliet.
Sure, I'll be glad to. Thank you. So yes, I have the Basement Marketplace, which is in Mount Juliet. And like John said, we're very close to the county line. We have a store that has about 50 small businesses all under one roof. So I rent booths out to different artisans and vendors locally, and we have such a unique and diverse set of products in our store. And what was really fun, I guess, for us this year is that we were able to continue to survive as all of those 50 individual businesses under one roof. So our customers and our community have been so supportive of us this year, and we're so appreciative of the outpouring from our community to our business. And this 10 Community program was amazing for us. 58 coupons turned in throughout the course of the week, which I think that's significant. We were promoting it with our customers, making sure they knew to go ask the banks for the coupons, and then they of course showed up for us. And Small Business Saturday traditionally is our largest day of the year, and it was great for us again this year. And we think the 10 Community program helps to promote that as well. So we're very appreciative for that.
And how many businesses you've got there under one roof?
We have so I rent booth space out to vendors. So I
Okay.
have about 50 vendors, everything from handmade jewelry to a lot of home decor, furniture, boutique clothing, lots of handmade artisan products.
And where exactly are you? You mentioned the county line,
Mhm.
close to the county line.
We are on Lebanon Road. It's 14625 Lebanon Road. We're right across the street from St. Stephen's Catholic Church, right next door to the U-Haul there on Lebanon Road.
How long have you been there?
We've been open for 4.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's this year gone? I mean, has it been a trying time, really?
It has been. What we had to do right away was kind of shift or pivot how we were going to operate. And in March, when we learned we had to lock our doors to customer traffic, of course, that was really scary for us. But we pivoted to social media selling, and we did Facebook Live sales 2 to 3 times a week during the entire month of April. And our customers just blew us away with their support and their shopping. And we really were able to, kind of, I don't know, we felt like we were almost providing a service to those customers too, because, we had grandmas wanting to buy an Easter basket full of things for their grandkid, and they couldn't just go do that themselves, but they could order it online with us through the Facebook shopping, and then they would just pull into the parking lot. We would put it in the trunk of their car, and off they would go. And we have some essential products too. We had masks right away early on before you could buy a mask. We had local honey, elderberry syrup, lots of things like that, and even some natural cleaning products that people were having difficulty finding in the stores. And so our customers have just been very supportive of us this year.
I'm wondering one other thing here about the people who you rent space to. Has that changed a lot since March 3rd?
No, not really.
No.
Our vendors have, we always have a small bit of turnover, but most of our vendors have been with us for a good long while, and they're happy there.
And you're very happy too with the 9 banks going together to promote things here in December.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's already time for us to take a break. We've got 2 more people we want to hear from, and I'll reintroduce everybody who's around the table with me when we come back. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Lamb Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic starting to pick up pretty good now on 65 down through Madison. Sure, we've seen a couple of wrecks out here. 7700 block, Charlotte Pike out on the west side. Still working that wreck 24 eastbound near James Robertson Parkway. Just busy you would expect out here this time of the morning. To cater your next holiday party, call Princess Hot Chicken or go online, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Do you know why Rocky Williams Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Mount Juliet sells so many cars, trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars? Well, it all starts with a simple idea. Why not give everyone a hassle-free shopping experience for their new or used vehicle with no haggling, no negotiating, and no runaround? Every vehicle on the Rocky Williams lot is marked down incredibly low with the price posted on the window. You're treated with fairness and respect every time. No pressure, just a friendly, warm, inviting staff dedicated to finding the exact vehicle you need. So Rocky Williams from your Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has become the original no-haggle, one-price dealer. Go online to rockywilliams.com to see the incredible deals yourself. Every car and truck is listed with a no-haggle low price. This is for real, and you're gonna love it. People drive for miles to get some of the lowest prices in America on their new or used cars or trucks. Go to rockywilliams.com or come on over to our brand new spacious dealership next to Walmart in Mount Juliet.
Calling all horse lovers. Do you need a new zero turn for your horse farm? Call Absolute Kubota today at 615-449-6171 and ask about their special equine discounts on Exmark mowers. Exmark picked 2-to-1 over any other brand. Step up to an Exmark at your farm or ranch today so you can get back to what you enjoy, your horses. Call 615-449-6171 or stop by and see the team at Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon. Exmark, ready to work for you.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. It's a Monday morning, and with me this morning, John McDermott, who is, I believe it's president and CEO, of Wilson Bank and Trust. Did I get your title right?
That's good. John Foster is our president, but we're synonymous. We work together.
You're
it doesn't even
That's
matter.
right.
Keep going.
I knew that. But anyway, we're talking about the 10 Community Bucks program this morning, and John has brought with him Julie Rooswald with the Basement Marketplace in Mount Juliet, whom we've already heard from. We're going to hear from Kathy Tack in a moment here, the Faith Store in Lebanon. Andy White with Prospect is here too, Executive Director of Prospect. And Andy, I think you said in the break here, you've been doing that about 2 years. You've been there. Well, we'll find out what's on your mind this morning, but I'm going to let the ladies go first here.
Certainly.
So, Kathy, tell us about the Faith Store and tell us about the 10 Community Bucks program there.
All right. Well, the Faith Store is a ministry of Generations of Grace, and we are a fair trade store. So most of our products are made by people coming out of human trafficking or deep poverty or addiction. We have products from over 27 countries around the world, and our goal is just to provide a marketplace for them so that they can have a better way of life.
How did this all get started?
When our church was new in Lebanon, and we were just looking for a way to make an impact, and somebody told me the story of the Ghana baskets that we get, where women have to sell their children into slavery because they can't afford to support them. But if we can provide a marketplace for the baskets they make, then they can take care of their families. So for us, it seemed like an easy way to make a difference for people that we may never meet, but we know that we're giving them a better life.
Well, how did you get involved with the 10 Community program and the Bucks and so on?
Well, we learned about it through the chamber, and we're just so thankful for our chamber. They take such good care of us, and I don't know where we would be without them, especially this year. And so we were happy to jump on board. And just really overwhelmed by the cooperation of the banking community, that many banks would come together and just give to our small businesses and nonprofits. It's just, it just makes you love our community more,
This program, this effort on their part, was it money well spent, you think?
Absolutely. I know it made a big difference for us. And because we're a nonprofit, we received Community Bucks as a retailer, but also as people made donations of them as a nonprofit. And so we actually made $590 off of that program, which is a lot for just a few days. Mm-hmm. We promoted it. We promoted it to our church and on social media, and we had signs in the store, "Go get your Community Bucks." And it really just felt like the whole community was coming behind us to help us succeed, which this year was so important.
Tell us a little bit more about your store there, and give us a commercial, if you will, a little bit here.
Well, we say that every product has a story, and every purchase makes a difference. And the things that we have right now that I love so much are nativities. We have nativities from around the world, and Christmas ornaments too. And most of the items are handmade. So when you pick up something, you know that an artisan put hours into that product. And a lot of them are made out of recycled materials. So we have things from Haiti that are made from recycled oil drums. And it's just amazing the work that people can do when given the right tools and a place to sell them.
What are your hours of operation?
We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4 normally. And now this season's Friday and Saturday, we're open until 6 as well.
All right, let me back up to Julie here. Your place in Mount Juliet. What are your hours?
Well, throughout the year, we're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5. But right now, until Christmas, we're open 7 days a week. So 10 to 5 Monday through Saturday and 12 to 4 on Sundays. Okay.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit with Andy White here. Prospect is not a commercial business like these two ladies have, but you got involved here. Tell us about that.
We did, and we were so when we were asked to participate, we were so excited to be asked. We hadn't heard about the promotion before, so thank you so much, John, for you guys deciding to include the nonprofits, this year. So we heard about it. We like these folks do. We set up a social media campaign an awareness campaign. Basically for our staff and for our families and all of our network, just to get the word out that, hey, this year you can help us out as well through the promotion. After doing that, lo and behold, a competition set in. We sent out one of the electronically one of the thermometers. I tell you, if you want competition, just set up one of those thermometers, right, and watch the watch the red line go up, and just it gets people's competitive juices flowing. And next thing you know, we set a stretch goal of 100. We thought, man, if we could just collect 100 of these, that would be fantastic, because each buck equated to $5. That'd be $500. Well, we ended up getting 245 bucks brought back to us. We were blown away, to say the least. So, I mean, $1,225, thanks to the generosity of John, Wilson Bank and Trust, and all the other banks involved. It was phenomenal. So we just want to thank you for that, John.
For people who might not know, most people, I think, have some idea about Prospect's been around for a long time. And if we mention Eric Thompson, that'll whet the memory of other people of what Prospect is about. But tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Sure. We provide support services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Our main goal is to promote as much independence for them as we possibly can. When you ask the hours, our hours are 24/7, 365. We have 19 homes that we are providing staff of support for individuals with either an intellectual or developmental disability that live in their homes. And, we're there in the background, basically, just to provide help as they need it. But we want them to live and to thrive and grow just like everyone else in our community. And they're such an integral part of the fabric of our community. That's one program, is our supported living program. Then we have supported employment, where we really encourage employment. I've spoken to John about that. I know he's a fan of that program. We have 47 individuals out there right now, probably going to work right about now, in 25 different locations throughout Wilson County. Just earning a paycheck and everything that comes with that pride. And earning a paycheck and being able to contribute.
And how did the bucks directly affect you?
Oh, good. Well, it's gonna, this has been a tough year for all of us. Expenses right now are really, really hurting us. Donations, people are having to watch their purse strings this year, understandably so. So it's going to help us continue to provide the critical services that we do every day.
Well, we've heard the story from the three, John, and we appreciate all three of you being here. Each is kind of a different story, but a successful one. And all three of you have complimented the banks who've gone together to do this. So this makes me wonder, will you be doing something else when the year starts here, or next year in November, December? Will you have a program like this? What is that all yet to be determined?
We haven't determined that. We said we're going to do this 6-month program, which ended with the 10 community bucks, and then evaluate. One thing that we've all as bankers have enjoyed is just coming together in a small group and not. Of course, we're really exciting people. We always talk about banking, right? But there's other things in life that we also like to discuss, and part of it's been just how can we work together to help others. And hearing their stories, part of what we were trying to do is help our small business tell their story. And these ladies, their business and Andy could be fine without us, but knowing that it's touched them in some way, that was our goal. And we didn't know if the impact would be small or big, but all we knew is we could do all we wanted to do all we could do to help. And so, and as I think about you hearing about the bucks and the stories, those are just the ones that they were collected. So hopefully all these people came to their places of business or to their nonprofit and gave more than just those bucks, but exponentially increased the impact there. So it's been exciting to be a part, and it's not a Wilson Bank. I just am glad to be hopefully some sort of conduit to betterness for all of us, and so that's what the banks want to accomplish. So,
well, even though there's most any kind of business, and I can think of all kinds. The advertising businesses like radio, newspaper, there's certain competition there. There's competition between all the different jewelry stores. There's competition between the banks. But I think all of us want to see others prosper. We're not so selfish that we want it all and none for them. And we're all in this we are all in this together as a business community or as a nonprofit or whatever. There's work to be done. There's accomplishments we need to reach, and we do need to work together. So you kind of proved that we can.
WANT was a great. I mean, you guys worked with us on a way that we could do this and spread the word. And the Wilson Post does highlights for some of these small businesses, 10 community small businesses, as far as their businesses, again, trying to help them tell their story in other ways that they may not have been able to do on their own. So it's truly been it's been cool to watch. So
got to say something nice, really, about it. The chambers of commerce, especially ours
it couldn't.
here.
It couldn't without all three chambers of commerce. I mean, there's no way we could have pulled this off. We laugh. We're like, we got all these great ideas, but we didn't have a way to get it done, and they helped us get it done. And so, and you heard, Kathy mentioned that we couldn't do it without them. All three of the chambers in unison, not about territorial or my small business versus yours, but how can we live together?
When you kind of get between a rock and a hard place, as we say, and that's kind of the way it sounds like it's been for a lot of people since March, since COVID came, and of course the tornado on top of that. We have it has been a matter of survival, but we have worked together. And I think that says a lot for our community. It's not a dog eat dog thing. It's work together, and maybe we can all survive. Most of us anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me mention these lead bankers too, because they've been the key. Again, it's not really about what necessarily I've done for sure, but Chris Crowell with Southern Bank, Debbie Lowe with F&M Bank, Jason Loggins, Bank Tennessee, John Lancaster, First Freedom. Lee Campbell at Pinnacle, Melinda Bounds and over at Cedar Stone, along with Bob, of course, support Nathan Harris with Citizens Liberty State Bank and Sean Glover with First Bank. I mean, they've all been to all the meetings and been a part of it and bringing their customers to highlight for it as well. So it's been really cool, and I appreciate all of them being a part.
Well, thank all of y'all for being with us today. John McDearman, Julie Rooswall, to get that right?
Yes.
and Kathy Tack and Andy White. And thank you all very much. That is it for a Monday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a magnificent day.